One of the common things that people experience when they're suffering with poor mental health is anxiety. I suffered with anxiety for about 2 years before I actually even realised what it was and that I needed to deal with my mental health. In this video, I wanted to share my experience of how I dealt with anxiety and some of the symptoms that I felt when I was going through some of the most difficult times of living with anxiety. Hi, my name's Rishi and I'm the founder of Zeal, a mental wellbeing app that connects people who want to talk to people who are willing to listen. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you'd like to chat, follow me on Instagram and drop me a DM. So as I mentioned, I suffered with anxiety for about 1.5 to 2 years, and for about a year of that time, I didn't realise that I had what we now know as anxiety. I think it just wasn't on my radar. Mental health wasn't something that I was sort of reading up about or dealing with at the time. So for me, what was anxiety was probably just put down to as being stressed. And it was a difficult time in my life. Work was really stressful. I had just been sort of like had just started my own businesses, and it was something that was a really, really difficult, tough time. Very quickly, I'd started to experience severe anxiety. I didn't have loads of symptoms, and I can't sit here talking about all the various different ways I experience anxiety, but there are two main things that I experienced, which were enough. So the first thing, and the first reason I started to experience, the first reason that I even thought something wasn't right was when I was woken up one day very early, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just was jerked awake, and I felt like something was clenching at my chest, my heart, and it felt like, I wouldn't say it felt like a heart attack because I don't know what a heart attack feels like, but you know when people say, oh, panic attacks feel like heart attacks? Well, I can sort of understand what people mean by that. And for me, it felt like something was tugging really hard at my heart, and I felt a real empty, hollow sensation all around this area. And this would happen every single day. And I would lie in bed for about an hour and not understand what was going on. I would try and force myself to go back to sleep, but I couldn't because I was still really tired. You know, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't really need to wake up till about 6:30. So I would try and get myself back to sleep, but I couldn't. So then I would just lie there wide awake, feeling empty and feeling this kind of tugging and it was an awful sensation, and this would cause me sweats, and I would feel really tired once this had calmed down. And what I would then try and do is get myself out of bed and make myself a cup of tea and sit on the sofa. And I would then be sitting on the sofa for about an hour, trying to compose myself, regaining my energy, getting my headspace back to a point where I could function and even consider getting up, having a shower, and getting ready to go to work and face work. And it was during that period in the morning that was really exhausting, and I would sit there staring into thin air, not understanding what was going on, and there'd be people around me, so people who I lived with, my parents, who would be talking, and they would be laughing and joking, getting ready for them, themselves to go to work. They'd ask me a question, and it would just rile me up. It would make me feel even more what I know now as feeling anxious. It would make me snap if they were sort of asking me something, and I just couldn't I just was too frustrated to answer. I would flip out, I would react, and it was not like me at all. And they would just be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And now when I think back, it was so out of character for me. But what it was is that I wasn't able to cope. I wasn't able to deal with the sensations that my body was experiencing, the process my mind was going through. And that now I can sort of, having done research, I can say, well, what was going on at the time was my cortisol levels were so high in the morning that it would jerk me awake, and it would make me, this crippling sensation would really make me feel exhausted and tired. And by the time I could get myself to get to work, I would go to work and I would feel exhausted, frustrated, short-tempered. I couldn't concentrate in meetings. I was snapping at my co-founder, and about 6 months into this, it got to the point where I couldn't even talk to clients. I couldn't make phone calls. I couldn't do sales. It was really affecting my day-to-day functioning. And because I was so tired throughout the whole day and fatigued, it would mean that I would go to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock. But because I was waking up at 5 a.m. again, I just was never getting in the rest I needed. I think this all coupled together is what really led to the overall sort of deep depression that I went into by 2018. So the anxiety started sort of early 2017. By 2018, I would say is when I really realized that I was depressed. And it was only until I went on to sertraline, which I've talked about loads, was only when the sertraline really helped bring my cortisol level down and be able to help me cope in the mornings, to be able to find coping mechanisms and ways of being able to calm myself down. But it was all up until the point that the sertraline really kicked in was I crippled with anxiety every single day. And I think had I spoken a lot more about it openly back then, I think I would have realized very quickly that it was anxiety. I wasn't living at that time wanting to learn about mental health, and I wasn't on Instagram sort of reading mental health posts where I could see those signs of posts about signs of anxiety and poor mental health. So it really I never clocked that this is what I was experiencing. And I think when someone now asks, how by the way, how are you doing? And you'd be like, oh yeah, I've got a bit of a cold right now. We're very quick to talk about physical symptoms of our health. I've been in and out of hospital because I'm going through, I don't know, a procedure of some sort. But do we ever say, God, I've been waking up feeling really crippled every day, or God, I'm so worried and anxious on a daily basis about certain things? We just don't talk about these things. And I think part of making this video is if I'd seen someone talk quite openly about what they're feeling and how anxiety is controlling their life when I was going through that, the penny would have just dropped, I think, and I would have clocked a lot earlier, which means I would have sought help a lot quicker. And as I mentioned, I think there are so many signs of someone that could be going through anxiety. If you Google anxiety and symptoms, there are so many different symptoms that come up, and I only experienced a few of those. So I'm not saying that what I experienced, you will experience too. But all I would say is if you're starting to feel that in a way that you're unsure as to why you're feeling that way, start having those conversations with people, start doing the research, and start learning about how you can overcome that and what you can do to start taking control of it. Because I literally lost control. I lost control of my mornings. I lost control of my ability to function and being able to get myself together, which meant that throughout that period, I was functioning like a zombie. I really was. I was functioning like a zombie. So I hope some of the things I've discussed in this video, though it's not, sort of in great length, I just hope that by having this conversation about anxiety, if it's something that you're experiencing, you're able to seek help or be able to talk to someone about it, see your GP and get some help and advice. I'd love to hear from you guys if you've experienced anxiety. I think we now in 2022 are well versed in what anxiety is compared to about 5 years ago. But I'd love to hear what some of the things that you've been feeling or experiencing in the comments below. Let's share some of those things, because there might be other people who are going through those things who have no idea that they're experiencing anxiety, or it's common or normal. So yeah, I hope this video has helped in some little bit. It's something I've been reflecting on this week, of that period in my life, and I just wanted to share this kind of message around anxiety and just have a quick conversation about it. So I hope this video helps, even if it's in the smallest way. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe, follow me on Instagram. If you need to talk to someone and you're in the UK, please download Zill. We will connect you to a mental health first aider whenever it's convenient for you to talk to someone. And yeah, in any way I can help, please drop me a message. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day. Bye.